to page number, Adam, put it away, 65, page number 65. Okay, 65, countries of Central and Southern Asia. Okay, we're talking about the bottom part and the middle of Asia. We learned about the Middle East, that's kind of the east of Asia, kind of underneath Europe. Now we're talking about Central and Southern Asia. Okay. Make sure you're listening well since you forgot your book. Are you checking your study? Go check. Go check. Huh?
I don't know, it was right there the whole time. I know I have one of most of them. I just didn't want to do it. I was too lazy.
Wow. Would you rather like computer research and get your book? Okay, come and sit down. Okay, chapter 5, page 65. Countries of Central and Southern Asia. So today, we are going to talk about India. Okay, India is one of the biggest countries in Asia. Obviously not the biggest, it's one of the bigger ones. Go ahead and turn to page 65. Okay, look at this. Asia's 3 great river valleys supported 3 ancient cultures. Okay, one, we learned about this already, the Tigris-Euphrates Valley. Okay, it's home to what? What does it say? Home to where? Mesopotamia, good, which was, we've already studied that. Okay, now we're going to talk about India, highlight India, which will be studied in this chapter. It rose up in the Indus Valley, okay? We learned where the Indus River was, okay? Okay? India is where the Indus Valley is. You guys remember where the Indus River is? This is kind of where the civilization of India came up. Sit down. Okay, sit down. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn about in this chapter, is India. Okay, and then the other Huanghe or Yellow River Valley is in China, but we'll learn about that next chapter. Okay? Yes, please. Do it later, okay? Turn to chapter number 5. Where is Gavin and where is Sister?
Getting water.
They're called transitions. Alright guys, okay, so you should highlight India. Okay, that's where the Indus River Valley kind of rose up from. Okay, then you need to highlight this. The second most populous country in the world is India, okay? So it is the 3rd largest nation in Asia. What's the largest? Who knows? We already studied this. The largest country in Asia. No, in Asia.
Oh, Huanghe?
Not Huanghe, Russia. Okay, Russia was the largest country. Okay, who knows the second largest country?
China.
Good, it is China. So the 3rd largest is India. Okay, 3rd largest country is India. You need to highlight it is the 2nd most populous country in the world. We are on page 65, okay? Okay, page 65. It is the 2nd most populous country in the world. So think of this. China, we know, is the most populous country in the world. Okay, remember how we said that some families or some rules back then in China, you were only allowed to have 1 child.
Okay? But then India is the second populous country, even though it is the third largest nation. Okay? In Asia, but it is the second most populous country in the world. So highlight that. Okay? Go ahead and highlight that in your book. Okay? Right here. It is the second most populous country in the world. That's India. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. It is on the triangular peninsula. If you guys notice that on your map, look on page 67. Okay, remember how we said the peninsula is a landform with water on three sides, kind of what Saudi Arabia was. Okay. So we see that India is a peninsula, if you guys see that. And if you guys see on your map, okay, it reaches to the Indian Ocean. Okay, and then the Indian Ocean, it kind of makes this look like a large triangle, if you guys see that. And then on top of India are the Himalayan mountains. So look on page number 67. Okay. If you guys notice, along this ridge is the Himalaya mountains. You guys see that? Okay. On your map, you want to highlight India. Okay. Highlight its capital, New Delhi. Highlight New Delhi. That is its capital. Okay, then hold on, please. Highlight the Arabian Sea. And then highlight the Indian Oceans. Just the ocean, I'm sorry. Indian Ocean. And then you guys should already know where the Indus River is. Okay, it's going through Pakistan. Okay, highlight the Indus River. Okay, you guys should know those. Okay, India, New Delhi, the Indus River, Arabian Sea, and the Indian Ocean. Do you have a question, Josiah? The Indus River? New Delhi. New Delhi is the capital. It's the city towards the top of India. Yes, Cam. We are highlighting today. Okay, we're going to read some, but we're just going to skim over them, okay? We're going to have to do, we have our Adventures in Greatness quiz today too, okay? So make sure that you guys are paying attention. All right, let's read about the Indus River Valley. Okay, highlight the Indus River. Okay, a great civilization began developing in the Indus River Valley. Okay, so highlight Indus River. Okay, and then about a few lines down where it says around 2000 BC, you guys see that? Okay, right here. Okay, it says around 2000 BC, highlight the Indus River Valley. Okay, and then you need to highlight a great civilization began there. Yes, BC is before Christ. Make sure that you're not talking out, all right? Okay, around 2000 BC, a great civilization began developing in the Indus River Valley. Does everyone see where we are? Okay, so you need to highlight this. The India, or all these countries, kind of developed from the Indus River. So we already talked about the Mesopotamia region, where different cities or civilizations developed in the Fertile Crescent. Okay, so now we're going to learn about the Indus River and how civilizations developed by the Indus River Valley. Okay, first we're going to learn about the Aryans and the Dravidians. Okay, highlight the Aryans. These people, they began coming into India through mountain passes. And then the Dravidians were the people who lived there before them. They were driven south. Okay? Make sure you guys are paying attention, okay? Highlight the Aryans and the Dravidians. These were the people, the Dravidians were the original people who inhabited the Indus River Valley. The Aryans are the people who came over the mountains and then they drove the people south. So the Dravidians kind of inhabited southern India and all the southern regions. The Aryans were the people who kind of inhabited those places. Okay, through mountain passes. Yes, Tony? Okay? We will talk about that later, okay? Yes, Tristan.
So, ain't that pretty good?
Okay. Not exactly. They're not bad or good. It was just what happened. The Aryans kind of led there, and the Dravidians were just kind of going south. Okay? So the Dravidians were mainly merchants who lived in prosperous cities. They traded cotton goods, gold, pearls, and pepper. Okay? But the Aryans, they considered a number of cows a man owned to be the measure of his wealth. So the Dravidians, they were merchants. They sold things like cotton, pearls, gold. The Aryans thought cows were what made a man wealthy. So they were farmers, okay? They had a lot of cows. That is why we see the cows, they were important in Aryan society, okay? In fact, the Aryan word for war meant a desire for more cows, okay? They loved cows so much they thought that the more cows a man had, the more that they were wealthy, and their word was derived from a desire for more cows. Okay? Although the Dravidians had more highly developed culture than the Aryans still didn't want anything to do with the Dravidians. Because the Aryans looked down on the Dravidians, whom they had conquered, highlight this, they developed a strict social plan, which is the caste system. Okay? So, the caste system, that is these division of classes that were super strict. So let's say that you were born into royalty, okay, and then you were born maybe poor, or then you were born maybe middle class, okay. Once you were born into that class, that's what you were for the rest of your life. Middle class is, let's say, royalty of a people. Then there's the low poverty part of a society, and then the middle class is just the normal people, everyday, not wealthy, not poor. That's the middle class, the working people. Those are the working people, okay? But because the Aryans and the Dravidians, the Aryans looked down on the Dravidians, they kind of separated themselves, okay, like, I'm not going to associate myself with the Dravidians if I was an Aryan, or the Dravidians, okay, since they were looked down on, would wish that they could be an Aryan because they were the people who were wealthy or something like that. That is the caste system, okay? Turn the page. Okay, let's read about the caste system, okay? So in the early years, there were 4 traditional castes and thousands of subcastes. That means there are 4 different kinds, guys, 4 different kinds of systems within this caste systems, and then you would break it down. So highlight this. The Brahmins, they were the most important caste, okay? The Brahmins were the most important caste. Okay, so these people basically would be at the top. They would be at the top of the food chain, or the top of the social system. Okay? Brahmins. Okay, these were the most important caste system, C-A-S-T-E. Okay, underneath the Brahmins were the less important castes. These were made up of the princes and the warriors.
You need to highlight that?
Just the Brahmins. Okay, so if you weren't number 1, if you were number 2, you'd be a prince or a warrior. Okay, you'd be a prince, or you would be fighting for the country, okay? Underneath the princes and the warriors were what class? What does it say? Members of the third caste were landowners and merchants, okay? So underneath them, they were landowners and merchants. Okay, these people sold things. These people were farmers. Okay, or not farmers, but these people owned the land that the lowest caste and the least important people worked on. And those would be the farmers, the laborers, and the servants. farmers. Okay, these basically would be the laborers, would be the people who worked for people. And the servants, okay? So the top of the food chain class was what? The Brahmins, okay, was the second system. Princes and warriors, the third one. Landowners and merchants, and then the fourth one were farmers, laborers, and servants, okay? That is the 4 divisions of the caste system. And what I said earlier was, if I was born into a farmer family, I could not work my way up to become a landowner, or I could not work my way up to become a warrior. Okay, I had to stay within that caste. That is why it's so sad, because they didn't really have a goal. They were like, oh, well, I was born into this, I have to die in this system, or this caste. Okay, and look at this. If a person broke the rules of his class, okay, if you guys see this, of his caste, he would be put out of his caste and then be considered an outcast. Okay, that is about 3 paragraphs down. You need to highlight that. Okay, the worst thing about the caste system was that a person could never work his way out of the caste into which he was born. Okay, and then if you guys keep on reading, it said, if a person broke the rules of his caste, he was put out of his caste and then considered an outcast for the rest of his life. So, doesn't matter who you were, if you broke the rules within your class, they would send you out of your class, and then you would become an outcast. Okay? Or untouchable. Okay? And you do not want to be part of an outcast. It was considered a disgrace, okay? If an outcast accidentally touched someone from the inner class, if they tried to be part of a class again, it was a disgrace, okay? They were untouchables. They did not belong to any caste. They could only live with other outcasts and were given only the hardest kind of work. So basically these people were kind of scrubs, okay? That's basically what they were. Yes, what's your question, Adam?
Do you need to highlight this for you?
Yes, that's what I just said to highlight, okay? If a person broke the rules of his caste, he was put out of his caste and considered an outcast. Make sure you highlight that. Yes. Not a caste, not an actual like caste, okay? But this is spelled C-A-S-T-E, okay? And this is basically the divisions of society in India, okay? And did you know that this actually is something that is prominent today? They have divisions of society. They have outcasts in India today, and that's kind of sad, because we know that all people God loves, and we don't ever want to look down on somebody, but in this system, people do look down on other people. Yes, Tristan?
If I highlighted outcast too?
Yes, you can highlight an outcast. Yes, that's what I want you to highlight. Sorry?
Untouchable?
Yes. Oh, highlight untouchable, okay? You guys can put this too, but they are an outcast or an untouchable. Okay, so when Christian missionaries began coming to India, they found the untouchables to be the most eager audience, or the people that wanted to receive the gospel the most. Thousands of these despised outcasts became Christians, okay? So when they were outcasts from their society, Christians came and told them about Jesus, someone who loves them no matter for who they are, and a lot of them became Christians, okay? Although, listen to this, although the government of India has abolished the caste system, most Indians still cling to it as their traditional way of life. So like I said, some people still practice this system, and it's kind of sad. Caste causes many people in India to live in poverty, and guarantees wealth and comfort to only a few. So some people are wealthy. Some, put your book down. Okay. Make sure that you're paying attention, okay? So caste system causes many people to be poor, as well as only a few to become rich and wealthy, or at least live comfortably. Okay? Let's read about family life in an Indian village. Cameron, you want to read about that? Yes.
So, why were princes and warriors under? Yes, please. Aren't they like shouldn't they be like military?
No, these were the priests. If you guys see that, Brahmins were the priests. They were the people who kind of set the rules, the holy people. Those were the Brahmins. Okay, they were the most important. And then the second less important, but still important, were the princes and the warriors. Yes, Cam? Okay, go ahead. Ancient India. Family life in an Indian village. Go ahead.
India was made up of thousands of villages. Most Indians were farmers who lived in huts made of mud and straw. Early villages were made up of family groups and very few people had the left in the village. Married, all the farm life including plowing, painting, and harvesting was done by hand. Family life was very important in India, but in a much different way than we think of family time. Like many Asian people, Indians did not consider individuals to be important.
Good.
A wife was often chosen by elders of the family rather than by the man himself, and no matter who made something, it was taken and owned by the entire family. All the men from the family would come together to make important decisions. The oldest man ruled, and when he died, the rule passed to the oldest man.
Good. Okay, so that was farm life. When they talked about, what's it called? When they talked about, or when they lived back then, if you had a dad, okay, he would be the one to make the decisions. Obviously, that's kind of what we relate to. But then the elders of the family chose your wife for you. So boys, your grandfather chose your wife for you. You didn't base them on love. You didn't base them on whatever they, if you knew them or not. If your granddad said she's the one that you're marrying, then you would have to marry her. And it said no matter who earned something, it was taken and owned by the entire family. So sometimes some of us will work and will pocket their own money. But back then, or not back then, in an Indian village, when you go to work, you have to earn money for your entire family. So it's not just your money. Okay, let's say Adam got money for his birthday. It would be his entire family's money. Okay, you don't just own something. That's how it was in India. Okay, so the oldest man ruled, and then when he died, the rule passed down to the oldest son. Okay, all right, that is comprehension, or that is 5.1a. Okay, we'll highlight this really quickly. Highlight Hinduism. This is the main religion in India today. Okay, so we know that Islam was a religion in the Middle East that we already learned about. So Hinduism is the main religion in India today. They worship many gods that they believe to make up one universal spirit called Brahma. Okay, but you do need to know that Hinduism is the main religion in India. Okay, and one thing that Hinduism practices is the idea of reincarnation. Okay, this means when someone or something dies, its soul is reborn into some other newborn man or animal. This is the process called reincarnation. You want to highlight reincarnation. Okay, so this basically means in this life I lived as maybe a princess. If I were to die, it depends on how good I was in this life. If I was good, maybe I would come back as a cow because cows are considered holy. Okay? If I was bad, then I would come back in another life as a fly, or maybe as in the lower caste. This is what they believe. Okay? It doesn't matter specifically fly. It's not true, because the Bible says, we know that the Bible says that every time we die, our soul goes to heaven or hell. Okay? Heaven or hell. Obviously, I hope that all of us are going to heaven, but that's because we have accepted Jesus Christ in our heart. But Hinduism teaches that if you die, you're going to come back, your soul is going to be reincarnated into something else. Isn't that crazy? Yes. Maybe. If that's what, they don't know what your soul reincarnates into. They just believe that that's what you do after you die. So that's why in India, okay, they don't kill as much cows for meat. They consider them to be very holy. Some of them actually let cows live inside their house with them. Okay, they consider, if you guys look at this, okay, page 69, you've got the top of the page, these are sacred cows lying in the streets. Because sometimes people believe that maybe their grandmother or their grandfather are reborn into this life as a cow. Okay, so they honor those cows and they don't kill the cows. That's what some people believe in India, and that's sad, isn't it? It's really sad, because we know, let me say this really quick, because we know, obviously, where we're going. Okay, it's either heaven or hell. We're not going to be reborn into this life as something else, but these people actually believe that their grandmother might have come back as a cow or maybe a dog or something, so they don't want to kill these animals. Yes.
Can you die in hell?
Did you say, can you die in hell? No. You're already dead and your soul lives for eternity. Whether it's in heaven, whether it's in hell. If you end up in hell, you burn forever. There's no dying. Okay? That's why all of us want to go to heaven. Okay? And like I've been saying to you guys, like I've been saying to you guys since day one, if you guys don't know where you're going, please let me show you. Because I'm happy to show you, because I want all of us to go to heaven. God wants us all to go to heaven, but it's only if you accept Jesus Christ into your heart that you will live on forever and ever in heaven. Okay? Yes, Tony.
So, some of those people, I think that's like their grandmother and grandpa.
That's why they consider them to be very sacred. So that's why they don't kill them, or they don't tell them to go away. They just kind of go around them and then let them be.
So, do they kill the cows? Those things look scary.
They don't try to. I mean, obviously, if the cow dies, it's a sad thing for them, but they don't go out of their way. I don't know if they bury it. Shh. Okay? And then that is the main religion in India. Okay? Says their belief. Hello. Their belief is being reincarnated into cows. Okay? So, like I said, that's what they believe. And then their belief in reincarnation causes the Hindus to revere and even worship certain animals, okay? Especially sacred bulls and cows. Even today, 2020, even today, if you visited India, you might find a cow roaming the street of a modern city, because they believe that all life is connected in the universal spirit. They refuse to kill even harmful creatures like rats or insects that destroy crops. They have rats and insects that they're scared to kill because they think that's something that someone's grandmother reincarnated back into, or someone's grandfather. So they don't kill animals there. Shh. It says belief, guys, belief in reincarnation has caused India to overrun with animals. There are so many animals in India. Today, India is one of the poorest nations in the world. There are two major reasons for India's poverty. The belief or they believe in false religion of Hinduism, and then a lot of them continue to follow the caste system. So there's no advancing if you're stuck in this caste. Okay? Obviously, America, we've been very blessed with progress. We've been blessed with freedom. But in countries like this, they don't believe that. They believe, oh, I'm better than you. You need to stay over there. Okay? And these people, they actually believe that of themselves. They think, I'm not worthy. No one loves me. And they don't try to better themselves. That is the belief that's causing India to be one of the poorest nations in the world. Okay? Just lastly, okay? Hinduism has led to superstitious regard for animal and plant life that hinder progress. We just talked about that. You can't move forward if you're kind of stuck. And then the superstition of India's religion keeps the people living in fear and keeps them from a knowledge of the one true God who promises to take care of all of those who follow and trust him. So if you follow Hinduism, there's no hope. And if you are a Christian, hang on guys, let me finish this, okay, before you ask a question. When you follow Hinduism, there's no hope, okay? It's like, oh, I'm born into this, I'm going to die like this. But in God, we know that there is hope, okay? And that's something that we can rejoice that God has given us. Cameron, what's your question, okay?
You know how, like, they think if their grandma dies, they become a cow?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if their grandma dies, do you think they believe, like, they become a plant?
Maybe. It just depends on what they, like if their grandmother was good in their life, they can come back into anything. Person, animal, spirit, they can come back into anything. Not a ghost. Yes?
So, you know how, like, their grandma's dead?
Yeah.
Do you think it turned into a panda or a dinosaur?
Maybe not a dinosaur, but maybe a panda.
Are dinosaurs
Yes, Gavin. They were. I'm sorry. Shh, you should not be talking. What was that, Gavin?
In spirits from heaven roam the earth?
I don't believe spirits. I do believe angels. Yeah, angels for sure. I do believe that God sometimes sends guardian angels, whether we can see them or not, to protect us. We're not going to be angels, but we will have glorified bodies. Remember, we talked about this. We'll be perfect in heaven. We will rejoice in heaven. Yes.
What happens if we go to India and kill all the animals? Would the people get mad?
Yes, the people would be very mad if you went there and started killing their animals. Yes? I don't know. We'll see. But that is the end of our lesson for history. Go ahead and put away quietly. Class, wait. Sit down. Put away your books quietly and then get out your Adventures in Greatness book, okay? Yes.
Do you think there's snow in heaven?
There's snow? Maybe. If we love snow, maybe. Okay, and then Gianni, go ahead and pull out your Adventures in Greatness book. We are in story number. Shh, I said quietly, guys. Page number 9 and 10. Okay, and then it is quiz number, boys, shh, quiz number 5. Okay, quiz number 5, page 9 and 10, and then quiz is page 93.